Hello, my name is Jack Garrison, and this is the story of my Eagle Scout project, the Dog Park. When I began to brainstorm ideas for my Eagle Scout service project, I realized that I wanted to help my school district, Batavia, as a payback for the education and opportunities I had received through them. At the same time, I was heavily involved in my school's new Hope Squad, a peer to peer suicide prevention program that aims to better the culture of the school. Through my training in Hope Squad, I learned that the main cause of depression, especially in adolescence, is stress, and the best way to relieve stress is simply to take a break. So, I began to create a space on my school's new unified campus that would provide an opportunity for students, teachers, and parents alike to de stress, since such a place didn't exist. At the time, the buildings were still being constructed, so I met with the superintendent to pick a spot, and we ended up deciding behind the center field fence of the baseball diamond was my best bet. With my spot picked out, I took measurements and began developing the project's image. I realized early on that different people would have radically different approaches to de-stressing, so I chose to include picnic tables and yard games on one side of the park, and a walking trail with benches and a pollinator garden on the other side. Once completing my plan, I attended a school board meeting in October 2021, where the dog park was officially approved by the superintendent. After setting up an online fundraiser and promoting my project throughout my town in the spring of 2022, I was able to get over $5,000. This is what my space looked like in July 2022. The previous construction of the nearby elementary school meant that the ground was extremely hard to dig into. My first step was to create the concrete pads for the yard games. I talked to the foreman of our high school construction and successfully arranged for free leftover concrete from one of their pours. My family and I then hand dug holes for chess, Jenga, Connect Four, Kerplunk, and Cornhole. While difficult with the hard ground, we made holes big enough for the concrete frames, built with the help of my grandpa. My family and 3 of my fellow scouts were there to receive the concrete, and we successfully made 9 smooth concrete pads. My next step was creating the gravel path. I went to Hanson Aggregates in Milford, Ohio, and was given a discount on the gravel itself and free delivery. In August, 38 tons of gravel were delivered to my workplace. I then went to Sunbelt Rentals in Eastgate, Ohio. After meeting with the manager, I was graciously given a free rental of a Bobcat, saving over $700. It was used to dig out the walking path, the middle garden, and the pad for the picnic tables. Additionally, this same Bobcat was used to place and smooth about 30 tons of that gravel. The multiple abilities of the Bobcat greatly reduced the number of work days that I had planned on having to shovel gravel. Over the fall, my dad, an excellent gardener, assisted me in tediously tilling the hard ground in the middle of the path so that we could plant native pollinator species. Additionally, we added a separate patch at the trailhead with plants donated to me by a member of our school board who is also a landscaper. I went back to Sunbelt Rentals in October to purchase a rototiller, but once again, they graciously gave it to me for free. Between the rototiller, hand tillers, and some of our own home compost, we were able to get some soil that was decent for planting, and we put those plants in the ground in November. I had originally planned to hand build the yard games and tables, but over winter, I realized that the amount of money I fundraised would allow me to purchase more durable plastic items. I also noticed that our old school had green picnic tables that were the exact tables I had planned to buy if we had the money. I scheduled a meeting with my principal in April, and she informed me that those tables were mine to have. In May of 2023, with the help of the groundskeeper and my dad, the tables, along with umbrellas I purchased, were moved. Meanwhile, with the help of my mom, I purchased the yard games to be placed in the summer. I was in such a good spot financially that I was able to purchase 2 high-quality green benches, which arrived in June 2023. Sunbelt Rentals once again offered me free equipment when I went to their business to buy an auger. With the auger and some quikrete, the benches were placed in June. I also made the decision to purchase some sunflowers. Once those were planted, I scheduled one last workday for my entire troop. Over 20 people were present for my final workday in July. The remaining gravel was shoveled, the thank you banners to my donors were hung, my fence bulldog was placed, and the yard games were put into their final spots. I ended up with $738, which I donated to our Hope Squads, the very force that sparked my project in the first place. My hope is that they will tend to my project so that it will continue to provide rejuvenation for the students, teachers, and parents that regularly use the space. Overall, this project really taught me what it means to be an effective leader. I had a bunch of setbacks. I had a bunch of things that, needed to be changed. And this is really the first time that I really undertook such a big project that I developed myself. And, I think it turned out really well. And I'm really excited to see how people continue to use it in the future, even when I'm gone from the school. So thank you for considering me, and I hope that this video has shown you about the dog park.